The digital age dazzles and deceives with relentless energy. In a world where every click is calculated, where instant gratification is manufactured, we find ourselves ensnared in a pleasure trap. The pulse of modern life is measured in likes, shares, and fleeting moments of dopamine rushes. This is the beginning of our journey into the heart of manufactured distraction, a realm where powerful economic and political forces wield mass entertainment as a tool for control. Our story opens with a barrage of vivid images and rapid cuts, neon screens, scrolling feeds, and the constant ping of notifications. This chaotic montage mirrors the overwhelming sensory overload that we experience every time we reach for our devices. In less than 30 seconds, you are immersed in the dopamine economy, a landscape meticulously designed to keep your attention captive, your mind fragmented, and your desires constantly manipulated. At the core of this digital evidence is the science of reward, a series of chemical impulses that seduce us into repetitive behavior. Social media platforms exploit our brain's wiring to create a cycle of anticipation and reward. Each like and comment triggers dopamine surges that momentarily elevate our mood while also deepening our reliance on these platforms. It is an economic model built not solely on the sale of products, but on the commodification of our attention. Every scroll, every click is meticulously tracked, analyzed, and sold to advertisers eager to tap into our vulnerabilities. In this dopamine-driven loop, our autonomy is slowly eroded. But this is only one facet of a much larger and more insidious apparatus. We now move to an exploration of the culture industry, the second act of our exploration. As we step back from the dazzling distraction of the digital realm, a more measured narrative takes shape. The consumer, once a sovereign individual, is now prey to a system that transforms identity into a series of purchasable commodities. Our very sense of self, once defined by personal accomplishments and civic engagement, is being redefined by the brands we consume. In the pursuit of belonging, we are led to equate our self-worth with our possession of status symbols and trending gadgets. In carefully recorded interviews with cultural critics and academic thinkers, we learn that consumer identity has replaced civic identity for many. The individual's need for recognition and the desire to belong are exploited by corporations and political powers alike. These entities craft narratives that turn social discontent into economic anxiety and perpetual debt. The very engines of consumerism now serve as covert instruments of soft social control, diverting energy away from political dissent and towards endless shopping sprees and binge-watching marathons. The marketplace becomes not a space of free exchange, but a meticulously engineered theater where every display, every advertisement is designed to pacify and distract. The transformation is subtle yet profound. The lines between leisure, work, and identity have blurred. In our quest for instant gratification, we have surrendered our time, our energy, and ultimately, our agency. Classrooms, town halls, and even familial discussions are steadily being replaced by endless streams of entertainment and fleeting online interactions. The vibrancy of community discourse is subsumed in the monochrome glow of smartphone screens, a glow that radiates not liberation, but soft power and conformity. Yet, as we delve deeper, another uncomfortable truth emerges. We stand at a crossroads where pervasive digital distraction meets systemic control. The third act of our narrative unravels a darker layer of the digital fabric, a realm where soft social control quells dissent and stifles the critical dialogue essential to a healthy democracy. This act is a cautionary tale of how technological advancement can mask the deep fissures in our socio-political landscape. Historical parallels illuminate the present. In centuries past, mass entertainment was similarly deployed to divert the public's attention from systemic injustice, be it the opium dens of the Victorian era or the radio shows used to maintain morale during wartime. Today, our screens serve a similar purpose, but with an intensity and scale that is unprecedented. The narrative is clear. By entangling our minds in loops of digital pleasure, modern economic and political systems have learned to manage not only our behavior, but also our thoughts and emotions. Critical debate and active citizenship are rendered nearly obsolete in a society increasingly sedated by the lure of endless content consumption. Interviews with critical theorists reveal a dual-edged sword. While digital platforms have democratized access to information, they have simultaneously created echo chambers that reinforce existing beliefs. Algorithms sculpt our reality, feeding us only what we are predisposed to embrace, and thus limiting the scope of our understanding. This tailor-made reality is seductive, for it agrees with our preconceptions and provides the illusion of choice. Yet, beneath this veneer of personalization lies a stark truth. The illusion of choice is itself a mechanism of control, keeping dissent at bay and consolidating power in subtle but dangerous ways. Amid the digital maelstrom, a critical pattern emerges. The platforms designed to offer connection are increasingly responsible for societal isolation and polarization. As our screens become windows to curated realities, the collective discourse essential to democratic societies is fractured. The rise in anxiety, depression, and a pervasive sense of disconnection highlights the hidden cost of digital engagement. The dopamine democracy, as some scholars call it, sells an arresting yet counterfeit sense of empowerment, leaving us unwittingly subjugated to the whims of a system that profits from our perpetual distraction. In this climate of manufactured consent, the stakes are nothing less than our collective future. The warning signs are all around us: rising mental health crises, deepening socio-political divides, and a continuous erosion of public discourse that once formed the backbone of democratic societies. The control system doesn't ignite with overt force. It seeps into the fabric of our everyday lives, subtly reorienting our behaviors and priorities. In these pivotal moments, the urgency of waking up to this engineered reality cannot be overstated. It is here, in the quiet introspection after the storm of digital overload, that our narrative finds its turning point. Imagine a life where moments are savored rather than squandered, a life where your attention is your own. The path to such liberation begins with intentional digital disconnection. In thoughtful conversations with experts in psychology, media literacy, and political activism, we explore strategies that empower individuals to reclaim control over their digital lives. It starts with recognition, understanding that every notification, every scroll is part of a grand design intended to divert your energy and dilute your critical capacities. We learn that the antidote to digital distraction lies in cultivating a culture of mindful consumption. Critical media literacy becomes the cornerstone of resistance, a way to decode hidden messages, discern bias, and disrupt the cycles of instant reward. By embracing slow, deliberate engagement with information, we can rebuild our capacity for deep thought, reflective conversation, and meaningful action. In a society dominated by ephemeral digital interactions, reclaiming patience and prioritizing deliberate reflection are revolutionary acts in themselves. This journey toward reclaiming focus is not an abstract ideal, but a practical roadmap. Begin by setting clear boundaries on digital usage. Replace relentless scrolling with mindful activities, reading, engaging in face-to-face dialogue, and nurturing hobbies that encourage deep focus. Create digital sanctuaries free from the incessant pull of notifications and algorithmic suggestions. In these sacred spaces, allow yourself to be fully present, to think deeply about the world around you, and to engage critically with the information you encounter. The conversation with experts reinforces a simple truth. Intentional disconnection is a precondition for genuine connection, with ourselves, with others, and with the issues that truly matter. The silence that follows the digital clamor is not emptiness, but a fertile ground for creativity, introspection, and collective action. It is in this silence that we can rediscover the power of unmediated experience, where the richness of life is not filtered through a screen, but encountered in its raw, unadulterated form. As the narrative unfolds, we return to our opening questions. Are we truly in control, or have we pledged our autonomy to an insatiable system designed to keep us docile and distracted? The evidence laid out before us is compelling. Our individual choices may seem inconsequential on their own, but together they form the backbone of a powerful movement for change. Each mindful moment, each deliberate decision to step away from the screen is an act of resistance against a system whose primary currency is our attention. The final moments of our exploration are marked by a deep and resonant call to action. The road ahead is not simple, and the challenges are great, but the possibility of reclaiming our mental space and civic agency shines as a beacon of hope. We are called to be vigilant, to practice self-restraint in the face of digital excess, and to foster environments where critical thought thrives. By nurturing our capacity to focus, we build the foundation for a society that values depth over superficiality and genuine engagement over manufactured consent. The transformation begins with a single, conscious decision. Imagine a future where your device serves as a tool, not a master, where technology amplifies your capabilities rather than diminishes them, where your attention is a well-guarded treasure rather than a commodity to be monetized. This vision is not a utopian fantasy, but an achievable reality, if we are willing to break free from the digital chains that imprison our minds. As we conclude our journey, the question remains, will you seize the opportunity to rewrite your digital narrative? The pleasure trap may be intricately woven into the fabric of modern society, but its hold can be undone. With awareness, critical media literacy, and a commitment to intentional disconnection, there exists the possibility of reclaiming our focus and, by extension, our freedom. The future is not predetermined by algorithms or profit margins. It is fashioned by the choices we make every single day. Reflect on the insights shared today. The dopamine economy is real, the culture industry redefines identity, and soft control is a pervasive force. Yet amid the challenges, a counterforce exists in the form of individual agency and informed resistance. As our digital lives continue to evolve, so too must our strategies for preserving mental clarity and civic engagement. The journey is ongoing, and every mindful moment is a victory against the tyranny of distraction. Let this be the moment of awakening. Step away from the ceaseless hum of digital stimuli and take back the reins of your life. Embrace the challenge of deliberate thought, foster meaningful connections, and ultimately, reclaim the profound capacity for critical reflection that lies within each of us. The time has come to abandon the false promises of instant gratification. In a world where every click, every like, every digital interaction is calculated to provoke, we must choose a path that honors depth over superficiality. The pleasure trap is not insurmountable. Its chains can be shattered by a collective will to re-engage with life on our own terms. Throughout this exploration, we have seen the alarming effects of an economy built on dopamine, where our attention is the product and distraction is the method. We have observed the cultural shift where consumer identity replaces civic purpose, and we have faced the sobering reality that soft social control undermines genuine discourse and democratic engagement. And now, with this newfound understanding, we are called to make a choice to reclaim what is rightfully ours, our focus, our autonomy, and our capacity for true, unmediated engagement. This is more than a call for digital detox. It is a rallying cry for a larger movement toward a more mindful, intentional, and empowered society. It is a plea to scholars, activists, and concerned citizens alike to scrutinize the systems that seek to control our attention. It is a call to action to invest in critical media literacy, and in doing so, to build a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around. In closing, as you reflect on the incessant buzz of your digital world, Remember that every moment of intentional disconnection is an act of defiance, a reclaiming of your inherent right to think freely. It is time to break free from the digital chains. Embrace intentional disconnection and cultivate critical media literacy to reclaim your focus and agency.